When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you were in the championship rounds with the one and only King Amin of Essex. And I got my guy here, one of my favorite sparring partners, Hardcore Boxing News. He's joining me today, Mr. J Hardcore. And this episode is a little bit different, y'all. When we talked about putting this one together, um, he told me to bring my 8 ounces. I told him to bring his margarito gloves. And then the man came back and told me to come back with the egg. He coming back with the egg weights. And so, we not playing no games today, but before we dig in, I want you to let the people know where they can find you.
FJ Hardcore Boxing News 51. If you're looking for me on Instagram, and also Hardcore Boxing News on YouTube as well. And man, I'm just a guy that loves boxing. Been watching it since I was 8 years old, 54 now. So I done seen a lot. I done heard a lot. I almost know a lot right now when it comes just to boxing game. That's all I'm saying. And that's only because of experience.
And also definitely a proud father. You got a son that's an amazing fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's a dog granddad. You know what I'm saying? This is my guy right here. So, but we go get to work because we done had some back and forths about this in the past, and I took a position, and now it's coming to me. And I must admit, I probably hadn't said this out loud, but you're one of the first people that challenged me on this idea that Bud Crawford could be the one that, and everybody know what we're talking about, Bud Crawford could be the one to jeopardize the potential between this welterweight showdown. I'm also getting a lot of heat from my guy, my co-host Bodywork Boxing. This is a good brother, man, but he won't let up with producing information that's just, and I just said, it came to a point that where I'm saying what I'm saying, but I'm either going to get educated or I'm going to come out on top. And I ain't looking to win. I'm trying to figure out why, Jay, why, Mr. Hardcore, why does things seem so confusing as to who is accountable, who should be held accountable for this fight not happening?
Well, that's always going to be the blame game. It's been going on since the beginning of time. And nobody wants to actually stand up and say, you know what? It's my fault. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get two sides of the coin, you know what I mean? And the truth is always when the coin stand up on the end, and that don't happen too often. You know what I'm saying?
Nice way to put it. Nice way to put it. Now, again, we having fun. So the views and opinions expressed by both of us, we're fans. We're passionate about this. So I'm gonna just say this because we may use analogy. I know, especially me. Don't take it personal. Get a little Jermaine Jackson in your life. All right. Um, the blame game. I love that because that's what I've been thinking. I said we got to play the blame game because nobody seems to be able to just separate it and say, hey, it wasn't, good business practice. There seems to be a lot. And also there was a recent phone calls that was put out, somebody acting like they damn whack 100 recording phone calls and shit. They got, Espinoza and Spence on the line. And, they're talking about Spence's frustration with Crawford not confiding or making a concession, man. First of all, let me get I guess if you want to take a position on who's to blame, who do you blame or who's at fault here?
Well, whew. First of all, I'm gonna set my position right now. I'm a Spence supporter. Mm-hmm. I don't like using the word fan because it's the root word of fanatic, and I ain't a fanatic for no man. So I definitely back Spence, but I think it's to the point, man, that it's going down to dollars and cents, and making sure that all the dollars make sense to each person. And I think, to be truthfully honest, the holdup is Bud Crawford. The reason why I feel though the Bud is the holdup is because he's trying to maximize all the dollars he can get at this particular time. And he's always been like that. I mean, this guy went head to head with Bob Arum, the best in the game, and raped him for his money. You know what I mean? He was getting 3 to 6 million every fight guaranteed, and wasn't even pulling in the numbers to even recoup. for Bob. You see what I'm saying? Even Bob said that he could have got a house or a condo made in California for all the money he done lost on Crawford.
Beverly
But
Hills, no
that ain't
less.
that ain't Crawford's fault. That's negotiation. So I would definitely say that Bud is a shrewd businessman, and he turning over every stone and everything. And that's why I feel though that's why this fight hasn't happened yet, because Bud is holding out for every nickel.
Well, let's take an interesting spin on this. Um, I'm a Bud Crawford supporter.
All right, I like that. I like that. I like that. That's one
Right?
thing I say, boy. You a quick learner, I tell you.
I'm a Bud Crawford supporter. I have nothing against Earl Spence. Earl Spence is Jamaican, so everybody know I always say it and I always point that out. But I
Right.
also have to point out I'm a Bud Crawford supporter. And here's what I think about the roads. I'm gonna see if I can paint a picture for people.
Okay.
The position that Earl Spence took is his choice. What I
Okay.
mean by that is he said, I want to go the college route. I want to be W.B. Du Bois. I want to be educated. I want those alphabets behind my name. I want the belts, right? So when you take that route, there's an understanding of patience, perseverance. There's a lot of long-term investment when you take that route. So maybe he sees the vision and he's aligned himself with Jerry Jones and different artists in Texas, and making himself a viable a commodity, right? But with that approach, okay, in that regard, that's college. The belts are degrees, and you know how to maneuver within that world. Your business model is different. I think Bud Crawford, on the other hand, is a little bit more Booker T. Washington. He's a little bit more like, I work blue collar. So whether I'm a truck driver, whether I'm an electrician, whether I'm a plumber, yes, I can do this for as long as I need to do it, but I can't do this forever. There's a window of time on this. I got to get to the point where I got to set up my company and get some contractors underneath me and subcontract, because as much money as I'm making, 100,000 a year as a plumber, and I didn't have to go to college, I still got sort of a limitation on this. So my approach, again, is different from Earl Spence. I can't say who's right or wrong, but when you approach your contracts, when you approach your business, you have to respect if Bud Crawford approached this whole situation saying, look, I didn't bust my ass to get in this necessarily for belts. And I know people gonna have a problem with this part. I didn't bust my ass for the belts. I've already done that at 140. Now at this point, I'm just here to be a prize fighter. If he has the intentions, which I can't count for, to make this fight happen in 2023, is anything wrong with that position that he's focused on, maximizing the coin as opposed to perhaps the prestige and the unification?
Well, you know what I mean. You look at it that way. I definitely get your drift, but we got two different dynamics going on right now. Because it's not like Spence didn't tell him from the jump what his blueprint was. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, Spence said, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab all the belts, and once I grab all the belts, then I'm gonna come over there and take your shit." So he went. Now, when you talking about blue collar worker, actually, I think he did all the heavy lifting, because he the one that fought Porter. He the one that fought Ugas for the belt. He the one that fought the kid from over the UK. Went over there and got that first belt all the way over there against what? 30, 40,000 people throwing brownies at him and everything. So he did all the work. He never said anything different about which way he was going to go about achieving that undisputed. He said he wanted undisputed from the jump.
I got to
And he
clinch.
did that.
I want to clinch. I got you in the clinch now.
Bring it.
Spence decided to go to college. That ain't my fault. You did heavy lifting. You read all them books. You went to the master's program, the PhD. You did all of that because that was your choice. So you did the heavy lifting. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. That's a part of the curriculum. Those guys were on, excuse me, your side of the street. Now, here's what I will say. Maybe perhaps Bud got a felony conviction in the career he was pursuing didn't allow him. A degree wasn't worth his while, because when he did resign to Top Rank, I will admit to this, he put himself in a position where he could not get those fights with those other guys. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
You don't think I'm saying? You don't agree? Come on.
I 100% agree. It looked
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
duck at that point. It looked like a duck at that point.
Well, that's where I disagree. I wouldn't say it looked like a duck. That was his. It was a bad move. It was a bad move that might have made him look like a duck.
If it walked like a duck, if it cracked like a duck, it's a duck, bro.
He couldn't have just made a mistake.
Nah.
Because he was trying to maximize his coin. Because he looked at it.
The maximization of the coin is fighting Spence. He could have went over there, and they could have had a round robin between him and Spence. Who gonna get to the top first to fight each other or whatever? You see what I'm saying? He could have played King of the Hill like they did on all the Kung Fu movies. You know what I mean? Could have fought his way all the way up to the top to fight Spence. It's a lot of different ways he could have handled that situation. But yet, as you said, he went the prize fighter way. And he seen something sweet over there with the Godfather, and he took the easy route. And that's what he's doing right now again. Instead of taking the fight right now, he was like, you know what? 10 grand, 10 million for him? Kavaliskis knocked him out. I knocked Kavaliskis out. So you gonna give me 10 million to fight him?
Word to Clay Davis, man. Okay, and I don't have any way to respond to that, because that's logic. All I can do is follow logic. But let me ask you this: this is more speculation, I guess, coming at it as this whack 100 phone call that somebody decided to record and release.
Oh, that was cute. That was cute, wasn't it?
You know,
it was cute.
In that call, there's some, I guess I couldn't really understand all of it, but whoever could transcribe the shit, I guess there was an allusion to the fight actually really being scheduled for 2023. So
that's what I heard too.
Right. So
which makes sense, for the simple fact time is ticking away, and you still got to continue on promoting it and everything. Plus, you still got to do your camp. So to microwave the deal and try to still get it in at November the 19th, you know what I mean? Or even December the 10th,
sure,
which is being shared by a bunch of fights that weekend.
A whole Top Rank card, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
In which Bomac has shared responsibilities.
Keyshawn Davis.
Okay. But Bud will be out. But like you said, Bud will be all right. Bud is, he may have, his second, you know what I mean, at the Avanesian bout. You know what I'm saying? He don't need Bomac there. Bomac gonna be with the
No. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But Bomac gonna be there. Because if he wanted a percentage of that 10 million.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, okay. Let me go this route then. Does that fact still kind of allow Crawford, I guess, a reprieve? Okay, so the fight was going to happen in 2023 anyway, okay? He's the one that's getting older. So maybe he needs to stay active. Maybe he needs Avanesian, to get himself ready, because coming off of the Sean Porter fight, okay? So, if in fact that's the case, do you think that there even needs to be a blame game, knowing that the fight was projected for 2023? God, heaven, no forbid 2026. But knowing that the fight was projected for 2023 anyway, does it make a difference if Crawford wants to make this money, take this fight, and still sit down at the table? Maybe perhaps his demands would be less because he got this bag from this one. So now he coming back say, you know what? I done already ate.
Let me make this adjustment real quick on you, Blood. I've been watching this game for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And when we put our eggs up before they hatch, sometimes they get broke. And what I mean is, hey, What's the kid name that he's about to fight? Avanesian?
Mm-hmm.
He knocked out 6 people recently. How about he catch one of those wonder punches and knocks Bud out and fuck up the money? Or how about Standionis cut Spence, and the cut is so bad that they stopped the fight in the first 3 rounds, and he's up. We messed up the money bag again.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This don't have the Mayweather Pacquiao, because Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez and still be able to make 400 million. It ain't the same game, because they both don't have that type of profile to bring it back like that. If they get beat by either one of those cats, they're going to be like, these niggas was hype. You see what I'm saying? So now what we got? Nothing. It's going to be a watered down fight if we get a chance to finally see it, because one of them got clipped.
So is there any, because I say this is the departure. This is, Spence goes his way, Crawford goes his way, unless or until, right? I heard Stenonis, Spence got to deal with Stenonis, and Crawford's got to deal with Avanesian. They get through those 2 fights. Is that fight next, or is it just too hard to tell given the way business has been going?
It got to be next. It got to be next. Y'all both have made an extra bag. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna jump in right here. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna tell you this how I feel about this and how I feel what Bud is doing right now.
Lay it in.
Like you said, Bud is 35 years old. You know what I mean? He took this fight for one. Who wouldn't? You're getting 10 million for an easy bag. You know what I mean? For 2, he's 35 years old. For 3, he hasn't fought in almost a year. Okay, so he's gonna be off. I know that he's a gym rat, but sparring is not like a real fight.
Sure.
Nowhere near. Everything changes. The lights change everything. Timing is off. All that happens. So he want to be in his best predicament when he's ready to fight Spence. So right now he's sharpening his tools with Avanesian. You see what I'm saying? But is he cashing his thinking in his background? Maybe I might be cashing out. I get this 10 million from here, and I get 35% of maybe 100 million from here. That might be 29 to 35 million that I can walk away with, just in case. How about I lose? Because if I lose, I retire. Who else am I going to fight? Everybody's going to be saying you was a hype job. You came from 40, but when you came to 47, you ain't fight nobody but Porter, and Porter was on his way out the door. Now what? Okay, well, shit, I'm going to take this 29, 35 million, and I'm just going to chill with my family, raise these athletes that I got right now, because his daughter is stupendous. His boys can wrestle their ass off, focus on them, love my wife, and enjoy my millions, because I done made them. The man is smart. He's calculated. He knows what he's doing. He knows it's a goddamn chance he could lose this fight. So I better grab all I can right now.
So he did good business, even if we don't like it.
I like it.
Okay, see,
but as a supporter, I want to see the fight right now.
Absolutely.
But you or I would have did the same exact thing. Come on now.
Yeah, I can't argue. I can't argue with that, because...
And I'm a Spence supporter. I want to see the fight. But I can't be mad about another man getting his bag. Because if you can spend 38 minutes in a fight, 38 minutes in a fight and get 10 million, then do another 38 minutes in another fight and get upwards to 20 million. I can't be mad at you, because that's generational wealth.
Absolutely.
You can flip that into a bigger bag. So I can't be mad. But I want to see the fight, and that's us fans. Well, not supporters. We selfish.
We fans of the sport, though. We do get fanatical about the sport, and that's what makes us fanatical.
Yeah, we get fanatical. We support, though. You see what I'm saying? And we put our hard-earned money into it, and we want to see it. We want the entertainment. This been going on since the gladiator times, man, where they were sitting around in the Roman Colosseum. You know what I mean? And they going at each other. And we want blood, and we want blood, and we want blood. That's just how it is. And that's how it's always going to be. And this sport will never die because of bloodthirsty people.
It's human nature, like Mike Jack told him, right? And to that point, I think, yes, it's a very wise investment. Yes, it's a very great plan for both fighters and all of that. But to that human nature in us all, them gladiators couldn't sit around and saying, I don't want to fight right now. I'd rather take on, the lion instead of the bear, or I'll take, the other gladiator and fight the bear tomorrow. He had to take the fight that was designated for him. And so, respect to all fighters. And I understand that it's a business, and pardon us, for being supporters of each of you fighters, but very fanatical about the sport, so much so that we need to see these fights happen. Now, I will say this about Bud Crawford, because there's a chance he could retire if he loses the Spence fight, but I still think there will be fights on the table against a Thurman, against a Boots Ennis, but maybe his
Oh,
pride at that point, no. I mean,
the King of the Hill had already been decided.
yeah. Well, you know what I was thinking in terms of like with Wilder. We know he's only the second best. He only second to one guy, so it's not so bad, and that's really why Thurman still has a legs to stand on, because of what he did at welterweight. It's still a question mark as he can, if he can still, even though that window seems to be closing. That's what gives him that credibility and that cachet, and I think that's the part we have to add back to the sport. Now, granted, financially, he might be cool, but maybe something in him says, you know what, I got one more in me, but he doesn't have to. He wouldn't have to. Certainly not for me, but just for the sport, we'd love to see it. I always like to see the older lions kind of pass the torch over if they're willing to. But I do understand that all things have a window of opportunity to them. So
let me tell you something. When they do that, they castrate the old lion. They ain't putting them in there with Keith. They putting them in there with Boots. Mm. That's how they gonna handle that. Nuh-uh. We're gonna give you a bag, but we're gonna make sure you get fucked up for it. And that's how they've always done it. That's how they do it. They send you out to pasture, man. That's how they do it. Me personally, I would like to see Bud just go out into the sunrise and chill out, man.
Go fishing. He
likes
no fishing.
I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be truthfully honest, man. It's a young man's game. And that boy coming up fast. You know what I mean? He coming up fast. And the best time to get him is now. Because you don't want him later. You don't want that boy later.
Yeah.
He's special. He's special. He's special.
Well, a couple more things in the welterweight division before we get out of here, man. I think I saw something out because I'm trying to confirm whether or not it's true. I saw something about Thurman in a return bout, but I haven't gotten any confirmation on it at all. No, the WBC made Thurman and Stanonis mandatory. I guess if Spence doesn't accept that.
Well, Stanonis, I think he's going to get it for the simple fact. Yeah, both of them are, but Stanonis is the one that has stepped aside twice.
Okay.
Yeah, he stepped aside twice. And you can't even say twice. Well, you can say twice if this Spence and Bud happens. Okay? But he stepped aside, if I'm not mistaken, with Ugas and Pacquiao. Something like that. I can't remember exactly how. Sure. Don't quote me. But I know it's twice so far. Okay? If this happens with Spence and Bud. You see what I'm saying? So now he said, listen here. I'm not stepping aside no more. If Bud and them don't happen right now, I want Spence right now. And I think Spence going to take a fight right now, too. I don't think they're not fighting in January.
No.
Bud can't fight in December, then turn around and fight in January. That fight's March, March.
And you know what I was thinking? After the Super Bowl, when Jerry's World is available,
Right. Well, That would be great, but I think that's a Vegas fight.
Okay.
I don't think Bud goes to Jerry World. I know he'll bend, but he ain't gonna break. You know what I'm
You think
saying?
that would be a problem going there? I think it would be more money. I know boxing
It
lives
would
in
be
Vegas.
it would be more money because they can fill up the stadium more.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're giving him the home court advantage. You got all of Texas in there, all for Spence.
That's true.
You're gonna have some Oklahomians.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have as many as you're gonna have Texas fans just going crazy. The Mexicans love Spence and everything, man, and they big in Texas. You know what I mean? So I mean, all that plays an important role, man. If you come out, you coming out that arena, and the whole arena, boo. That play a little bit in your psyche, just a little bit, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And why should I give this man this mental advantage?
sure.
It got to be. He even said it. It got to be a mutual
Neutral
spot.
site, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't give him that, even though I know the bag probably might end up being a little bit bigger. But there's so many other things that make people want to come to Vegas. You see what I'm saying? Because if we come to Jerry's World after the fight, then what we do?
That's it.
That's it. A few parties. But other than that, what can we do? The whole week up until the fight, because I like getting there like maybe Wednesday. What I'm going to do? I can't gamble. I can't go to the strip club. You know what I mean? I can't do none of these things. You know what I mean? I want to give me some good smoke. All that's to do in Vegas. Good
Yes, sir.
food, everything. You see what I'm saying?
Entertainment.
That's why Vegas is the mecca for boxing. That's just how it is, man. So, yeah, you make more money, but, shoot, Floyd was so sweet about it. He was getting money even off the popcorn and the sodas and the hot dogs that were being sold at MGM.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? He was like my man Frank White. If a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in. And that's how Floyd did. He murdered this game, man. And he left it with a wide opening.
And as I said about this welterweight division, you name the guys like Boots. I'm still bringing up these older guys like Thurman. This game is wide open, and hopefully one of these gentlemen, Spence or Crawford, or together, as dance partners often do, you go down in history together. But only one of these guys can become the new face. I think the winner of this fight can become the new face of boxing. This fight is needed. So regardless of why it didn't happen this year, ladies and gentlemen, please do what you can. Get on these fellas' IGs, they Twitters. If you see them in the mall, be respectful because they got the mitts. You better be easy. But please ask them as a supporter of them as whomever you got, Spence, Crawford, but as a fan, because we are fanatical about boxing. That's the reason why we love it and we do it. But ask these guys, please make this fight happen. Please do this for my homies over there at Hardcore News and Championship Rounds. Hey, let the people know one more time where they can find you, my brother.
You can catch me on Instagram at Hardcore Boxing News 51. And trust and believe, I'm making sure that you're getting all the latest news that's happening in the boxing world. I do that because I love it. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to be informed. You know what I mean? I want you to be able to have a one-stop shop. And that's what I try to develop over here at Hardcore Boxing News 51. I try to give you one-stop shop where you can find out everything you need to know about what's happening in boxing right now, and then go on about your day, keeping it simple.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, this is definitely one of the best sites you can get up-to-date information. And even you see how I asked him about the situation. This man knows. Follow on Instagram, check him out on YouTube, and of course, join me as always. Thank you for joining me, brother. I'm gonna have you on again, and hopefully the next time we talk, we're talking about a little bit something more substantial between these two gentlemen. You hold your side of the line, I'm gonna hold my side, and I'm gonna go for a soak now because I don't know if I got roughed up, but I sure don't feel good.
Hey, you see what I got on there, baby?
Undefeated thus far. We out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
My God.